Hey everyone, welcome back to the WordPress Theme Customizer course. In this lesson, we're going to talk specifically about why the Theme Customizer benefits us as WordPress designers and developers. Now, in my opinion, the best way to do this is to take a look at the various options that we have available to us. Namely, we have the Options API or the Settings API, which is what generates settings pages within the WordPress dashboard. And then we have the Theme Customizer, which allows us to give our users a what you see is what you get experience when working with our themes. So the first thing I'm going to do is fire up my browser. And I'm still here where I've activated 2013. However, I'm going to activate what I call the WordPress Settings Sandbox. Now, this particular theme is a theme that I developed to show what the WordPress Settings API is capable of. It's not an advanced theme. It's not one that I would recommend for use, but it shows several of the options that are available in the administration panel for how to get set up with the front end of the blog, the back end of the blog, and how the settings relate to one another. So now that it's active, let's go ahead and take a look at the blog. You can see right now that all it says is the checkbox has not been checked. So let's hop back over, and under the appearance menu, you'll see a sandbox theme. And here you see this tabbed interface. You see that we have display options, we have social options, and we have input examples. Now, all of these are elements that are provided to us by WordPress that allow us to serialize information to the database that we can then in turn use to impact the way that the WordPress blog looks. But first, let's click on display options. So let's activate the header, we'll activate the content, and we'll activate the footer. Now we'll click Save Changes. Notice that we have a success message. We'll return to the blog and refresh it. And now you can see that we actually have sandbox header, a footer, but then we also have something that says the checkbox has not been checked. So let's return back to the options. For social options, I'll go ahead and provide my information for Twitter. I don't have a Facebook account, but I will provide my Google Plus URL. And then I'll click Save. And when I refresh the front end, you'll see that you can now access me on Twitter and you can access me on Google+. Lastly, we have our set of input examples. Now, these are just generic examples of the 5 basic element types. And since we've been seeing an option that says this checkbox has not been checked, let's actually start with the checkbox element, check it, and save it. Let's refresh. And there it says the checkbox has been checked. Now let's check out some of these other options. The input element. Let's say this is the input element, and below it we have our text area. And then we'll go ahead and choose option 1 of 2. And then as far as time, we're going to show the select element always. We'll click Save Changes. We'll return back to the blog and refresh it. And then we'll see that we have our input element value, our text area value, the checkbox has been checked. The first option of the second was selected, and we're always going to be displaying this. Now, again, this is not an advanced theme. The purpose of this work is to show what the Settings API provides and how we can actually go about dictating what is seen on the front end. Now, let's go back to the themes page. We'll click on Customize. And notice that there are no options here. It says my blog and it's the best WordPress site. But if I change this to Theme Customizer, nothing changes. If I remove the tagline, nothing changes. And surprisingly, if I set back a latest post as the front page, nothing happens. And that's because this theme has not implemented the WordPress Theme Customizer. So let's check out the 2014 theme. This is the latest theme that's shipping with WordPress 3.8 as the time of this recording, and we'll do a live preview. And here you can see that there's a number of different options. We have the site title and tagline, we have the colors, the background image, static front page, and featured content. So let's try this. For my blog, we'll change it to Tuts Plus Development. We won't worry about a tagline. For colors, let's say that the title color, let's make it just a little gray. Now for the background image, we don't really have anything to upload, so we're not going to worry about that right now. But let's go ahead and change this to the latest post for our homepage. So now we actually have our blogging content. And then under featured content, we can choose a different layout. There's grids and there's sliders. However, there's nothing in the blog yet that would allow us to change it. But if there were, we would be able to see the changes immediately. So we'll go ahead and save and activate. Now, if we save and activate the theme customizer and then we refresh the home page, we see pretty much exactly what we configured in the theme customizer. The only difference is that we were seeing a more responsive layout. Basically, we were seeing this, but now that our browser is wider, we can see some of the widgets here on the other side of the page. But this right here demonstrates exactly why the theme customizer is such a strong contender for replacing or an alternative to the settings API. Whereas in the context of this theme, we have all of our options here that can be toggled, that can be changed, and that can be manipulated, and that they can be done so while showing the difference as they're being changed for the user, which creates a massively better experience. This gives us an option different than a screen like this, where we make some changes, we hop back to a tab and refresh. We make some changes and we hop back to a tab and refresh. Now, the settings API is powerful, don't get me wrong, and the theme customizer is powerful as well. Each one lends themselves to a specific situation. However, if you're looking to create a user experience that narrows the gap in between what the user sees and what they expect to happen when they click on a widget when customizing their blog, the theme customizer is the reason that this benefits the most. So throughout this series, we are going to take a look at all of the components of the theme customizer, including the theme customizer API. And then we're going to build a theme that uses the theme customizer so we can see exactly how we go from implementing the customizer into our theme and then using it in an actual theme for release. So I'm really excited about this particular topic. I think that the theme customizer is something that's really powerful, that's highly underutilized, but has great potential, especially for those of us that want to give our users and customers a great user experience. So I can't wait to get started. With that said, I will see you in the next chapter of the WordPress Theme Customizer course.